we have made automotive pretty unattractive to work in, frankly. The benefits suck, the pay sucks, the hours sometimes suck. That's getting less common. You have to work for, on average, some grumpy old person who is not super interested in adapting the way they do things to the way the next generation of people wants to be communicated with, managed. Not a super compelling offer.
Welcome to Downshift with Tonnika Haynes, the automotive auntie. The thing about Tonnika, she gets to know you. She'll laugh and cut up with you, but then she'll hit you with some knowledge that you may not want, but that you need. Let's downshift.
You're so busy all the time.
I am very busy all the time, for better or worse.
For better. Yeah. I'm gonna be all nosy and all up in your Kool-Aid today. How old are you?
All right. How old am I? 29.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. All right. So we have a mutual friend. I didn't know until we went out to a concert together. Patrick from the Audi Club from Hunter Equipment.
Oh, yeah. Patrick's great.
Yeah. He mentioned you. We were at the Dave Matthews Band concert last weekend. I was like, "Whoa, the world is itty bitty small."
Indeed, it is. Yeah,
So you're an Audi lover.
I am an Audi lover, as is evident by
I
the
see.
wagon behind me. Yes, so that's kind of the beginning of my automotive story. Is I've been involved in the Volkswagen Audi scene as an enthusiast since I was like 13 or 14.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And
what was your first VW? What was the
my
first one?
First VW was a 2003 24 valve VR6 GTI.
My first car that Dad bought me was an 87 Golf. That's all I was going to tell you about it. I loved her.
Very nice.
I loved her. You know, with the little hatchback, and I had I don't know. I want to say they were 15s, but they probably were 10s in the back.
Yep.
Subwoofers and all loud, stick shift. She was beautiful. Maroon. So that's the only Volkswagen I've ever had, or Audi, anything. That's it. I'm a Mercedes girl.
Ah, okay. All right.
So poor you.
Yeah. So that's kind of where my whole automotive journey started. So yes, I've known Patrick for a while. I got pretty involved in all of the Volkswagen Audi things up here in Raleigh once I got up here.
Do you do the cars and coffee stuff too?
Oh yeah.
I wish I was into that. It's just too many children out there. But I think that's great because that's how you started, right? So they got to start from somewhere. They got to get the bug from somewhere.
And it's also what keeps our industry going. Mechanics, technicians, service advisors, maybe to a lesser degree. That's where it starts, is like some fascination with the whole concept. I think very few people end up being career technicians just sort of randomly in their 20s. It usually sort of starts from a pretty young age.
Have you ever turned a wrench?
Absolutely.
In a shop?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. The running joke is that if I am turning a wrench, it means if I'm turning a wrench for a customer car, it means the week has gone completely off the rails. I will absolutely step in and help out wherever's needed. And I've been building and modifying things as a hobby since I was, like I said, a kid. So I'm not a conventionally trained technician by any means, but I know enough to be dangerous.
Uh-oh. So you said something a couple seconds ago. I'm going to dial back. Come on, bring that back. You said maybe not service advisors. What was that little thing you said about service advisors? Fix it.
Meaning like from the standpoint of
you'll get in trouble for that. So let's go ahead and fix that.
I'll own that one. The persona of the person who is a service advisor more often than the person who is a persona of a technician, I would be less convinced that they definitely were at a Cars and Coffee or a Cars and Coffee event as a kid, getting really interested in it early, where I think that's almost universally true for technicians. I don't think I would say that that's universally true for service advisors. I think you can know nothing about cars and be a very good service advisor.
Okay. See, he fixed it, people. Make sure you don't get thrown on a bus in a clip.
Oh, I'm sure we'll run over me with the bus at some point today.
Somebody's going to run over you with a bus. Oh, my service advisor, she's a young girl. She's a car enthusiast. She loves cars. She's a BMW chick, and she's at Cars and Coffee all the time. And I think Haley's 22 or 23 now. So they're out there. But
for sure, they're definitely out there. Yeah.
Young lady or young man that enjoys vehicles but just does not have the mechanical wits about them to be a technician, there's plenty of other places to go in the industry. So you
Oh
don't
yeah.
necessarily have to be under the hood or under the car. Be at the front office, you can do all kind of things. So yeah, there's opportunities for those kids. And that, like you said, that's how the industry, they get that bug, get bit at a car
hmm
show or something like Cars and Coffee, and then it sticks with them. So it stuck with you. You say you started about 13 is when you fell in love with vehicles?
Yeah, I think 13, 14, because I was not like I wasn't a Hot Wheels kid. Like I didn't have the little like racetrack on the carpet. I didn't have cars or truck toys. Like I was a sports kid. Anything that was a ball was kind
Mhm.
of my thing as a kid. And my brother was the one who was really more into like things like that, having the cars and Hot Wheels and um I think as I got closer to driving age, my dad is a driving enthusiast and car enthusiast, but driving enthusiast. And so I think as I got close to being able to drive, I started to really like grasp onto that.
Mhm.
And that I think was probably what prompted it more than anything is that I was so excited to be able to drive. And that sort of led to this love of cars um, that has now spiraled to a place that I not have any intentions of it getting. If you asked me 5 or 6 years ago if this is where I thought I would be sitting, uh, the answer would definitely have been no.
So where were you sitting 5 or 6 years ago?
5 or 6 years ago, I would have been a product slash operations leader for an early stage startup in at that time I would have been in the like brain health space. So I worked for a company that kind of similar to the concept of like Calm or Headspace
Hmm.
with like enhanced meditations and things like that. I was working for a company that did that and running their product team. Um, Not because I had any particular tie to that industry, but that's just kind of where I landed.
Running a great auto repair shop isn't about working harder. It's about being intentional with your time, team, and how your business runs. That's where TechMetric comes in. Shop management, payments, and marketing all in one platform. Your team works from the same information. Your customers get a better experience. And at the end of the day, you actually know where your business stands. Less noise, more clarity, more control. If you're building something worth being proud of, the right platform matters. Learn more at techmetric.com or use the link in the show notes. We already know what to do. We've been to the trainings, paid for the coaching, learned the right way to inspect cars, build estimates, and talk to our customers. That's not the problem. The problem is consistency because some days it only works when the right person is working. And when they're not, it's a whole different shop. So now you're stuck in that cycle. You need a strong team to run a great shop, but you need a great shop to attract a strong team. Make it make sense. That's why I rock with Detect Auto. Detect Auto streamlines your service processes with automations that save time, increase maintenance sales, and improve productivity without changing your whole system. It plugs in, guides your team through inspections, recommendations, and even customer communication. Now, that's not just based on memory or mood, that's how a shop runs. And let me tell you, I've been using it for over a year now. My ARO is up 63%. That's not new knowledge. That's just consistency. If you're tired of your shop depending on who showed up today, go check out Detect Auto. Book a demo. So, how in the heck did you shift? You like how I did that into automotive? You see what I did there? It's early in the morning too, and I'm coming with it.
That's outstanding. Um, how did I shift into automotive? The answer is actually like very straightforward. I left or got laid off from a startup in Seattle in late 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah, late 2023 or mid 2023. And we had just recently at that company, we had just recently hired a gentleman who we affectionately call Holdy. His name's Ryan Holdaway. And he had just gotten hired at ShopGenie
Mm-hmm.
after layoffs. And he called me in like November and he was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I was like, still kind of just figuring it out, like took some time hanging out with family. And he said, I have a place that I think would love. And I said, sounds great. And I sat down on a single call with the ShopGenie team and I was like, I'm in. If you guys are up for it, I'm up for it. This couldn't be more ideal as kind of the intersection of what I'm passionate about as a hobby and what
Mm-hmm.
I'm at least decent at professionally, which was building software professionally and then kind of being in the auto repair space. So that's how I met the ShopGenie guys. I went on to be a relatively core part of that team through a crazy track of growth and then an eventual acquisition by TechMetric. And somewhere along the way there, I decided that this was it. Like this was going to be the industry that I was going to kind of like dig my heels into. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the industry itself, and with the opportunity that was still here. So that's why we're sitting here today. That's why I'm sitting in my auto repair shop right now.
Yeah. So
Um,
a lot of people don't know, other than Shift, you have
mhm,
Honest Automotive too. So this man has two businesses. He's a crazy man. Like
I do.
you like torturing yourself. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, it wasn't intended to play out this way. So
Just
but it
rolling with it,
has.
huh?
Yeah, it has played out this way, and I am, yeah, probably not. All the screws aren't completely tight.
Nobody's
Is
are.
definitely no. But yes, I spend a good bit of time explaining to friends, family, or otherwise what might be wrong with me.
So which one came first, Honest or Shift?
Honest.
Honest. Okay. How long have
Yeah,
you had that? Because I'll let you tell the story, but I know you bought You bought another shop,
that's correct.
so
Yeah, yeah.
you
So
acquired a shop from someone. How did that go?
I acquired a shop from someone. So I started the process of that in July of 2024. Was kind of when I decided that. So this was pre ShopGenie TechMetric stuff. We were just kind of in the thick of it at ShopGenie, and I was just like, I love this. Like, I love this industry, and I want to figure out how to build better products. And the best way to figure out how to build better products is to be as close as you can to the problem, and you can't get much closer than sitting in it. So that was really the whole like precipice behind me wanting to do this. Um, on top of the fact that I like cars and I was the car guy friend for every person in my life,
Hmm.
and honestly, I know too many people, and so with like a weird degree of frequency, I would answer a phone call or a text message of like, "Hey, so and so's wrong with my car. Where should I go? Do you have a recommendation?" And I was like, you know what? I think we kind of just funnel this into one place that I can have a little bit of control over, and it'll be a good setup. So I set out to find a place. Wasn't trying to force it, but if the right place presented itself, then I was ready to jump on it. And so I found a spot in Cary, North Carolina, which was just down the road from where I live in Durham, not far from you. Uh, and I found it on Facebook. This particular owner sent a message in a auto shop owners hangout group, actually,
Hmm.
and said "shop for sale in Cary, North Carolina." And there were like 47 comments in 35 minutes of people being like, "Oh my god, where, who, what, how much?" Because as you are well aware, this is a pretty this whole area is a relatively compelling place to open almost any kind of business.
Yeah.
But specifically for automotive, it's kind of the perfect mix. We're a tier two city. We have a high density of commuter people. We
Hmm.
have plenty of roadway space, which means a lot of miles getting put on the cars. Not overly, not overly harsh on cars. Like we don't have super hot. We don't have really a ton of rust issues. Like
Right.
as far as compelling places to open an auto repair shop goes, like the
North
triangle is
Carolina's
pretty
it,
high up there. North Carolina as a
especially
whole,
here.
I
Oh
think,
yeah.
is a really place. So, needless to say, there were a bunch of people interested. The guy didn't say anything else after this. He didn't respond to a comment. He didn't give any more details. The as far as that post ever got was shop for sale in Cary. So I started Facebook sleuthing and I found his Facebook profile and I found his wife's Facebook profile and I went back like 7 years to where one of them posted about the shop and I figured out what shop it was. And I got in my car, which at the time was a Golf R that was wrapped in ShopGenie livery. We had wrapped it to take it to ASTA that year,
Uh huh.
and had it parked like outside the venue at the expo. And so I rolled up to the shop in my wrapped ShopGenie car, and I walked inside and I was like, "Is Carlos here?" And he was. And I said, "Are you still looking to sell the shop?" And he looked very confused as to how
I
I
thought
might
you were
have.
coming to
And
sell him something.
well, yeah, yes. Most people, I think, probably assume I'm going to come sell them something just
You do look
based
salesy.
on the everything about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that kind of kicked off to make a long story short, that kicked off a 6-ish month negotiation process and due diligence and everything, and then ultimately I closed on the shop in at the beginning of February of 2025, and so we are heading right into my 16th, 17th month in business.
Are you going to make it? How many gray hairs
Yeah.
have popped up? What's happening?
I have not found a single gray yet. This is an ongoing teasing battle between my wife and I.
No grays yet.
No grays yet. They're
You're not
definitely
going to get
on their
anywhere
way.
because you're in it, and you're see the way you're looking at it. Of course, you love cars, but
Mhm.
you're looking at it. Did you buy it to build, or did you buy it to play? Like, did you? What are your plans with this?
I mean, I guess both to some degree.
Both.
Like
Yeah.
I refuse to do things that don't make me happy, especially
Mm-hmm.
from a work standpoint. So like if I didn't really want to be doing this, I wouldn't be doing it.
Okay. Good.
And I kind of stand by that, and I also stand by that when I recommend things for people. It's like I love helping people find whatever it is that they're passionate about. I think on
Mm-hmm.
one of my social media bios or something, the tag is "Find your passion." Like that's the thing that really like pushes me forward. And so I am and always have been like passionate about helping people, and this is a really unique, like automotive is a really unique approach to how you can help people. Like ultimately everybody has to get their car worked on somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The where is the only variable, which makes this business really intriguing because I don't have to sell anybody on anything. I just have to provide a compelling experience. And I have to provide a compelling experience in an industry that like historically the bar has been on the floor.
Right.
So like it's not like you have to go. It doesn't have to be over the top. It's just like
Just have to
treat
be a
people
little
well.
bit better.
Yeah, yeah. Like treat people well.
Yeah.
Be good to people and do good work. So that part of it is to answer your question. Like that part of it is kind of play for me. The build side is I needed to understand the industry at a deep enough level to build the best software products that the industry has ever had.
Okay.
And that is the like serious side of it for me of like the why, the underlying why, other than I really am having fun with this and it's a great business that I enjoy being a part of. The
Mm-hmm.
deeper why was to understand the industry, be able to relate to owners, and be able to speak and build from a very educated place on today's issues in automotive.
So, Honest Automotive is not only your shop; it's also your lab.
Absolutely.
Okay, Dexter's
Absolutely.
laboratory. I love it. But who else? There's another young man that works along with you. I can't remember his name. Tell him don't be mad at Miss Tonnika. I cannot remember his name. Your other the young man I met in Kansas. How'd you meet him? How'd you guys hook up?
On the shift
On the
side of
shift
things.
side.
Yeah, so there's actually 4 co-founders of Shift, which
Okay.
most people don't know. So I think the gentleman you're talking about is Saim Raza.
Yes.
He is another one of our co-founders and our COO. Saim and I worked together at the company that I got laid off, that we both got laid off from before I started at ShopGenie. The company's name was Gordian Software. We were a travel technology company
Mm-hmm.
in Seattle, and it was a Y Combinator backed Series A startup that was big and fancy and a huge opportunity for both of us. And there's actually a long funny story of how that company unwound that I'll save for another time. But that is how we met. So we worked together there. And
Okay.
then after I left TechMetric post ShopGenie acquisition, Sime called me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Right now, I'm like sitting at the front desk of my shop, selling service." And he was like, "Well, what are you planning on doing?" And I was like, "Honestly, like I'm just like I'm here to figure out what else is wrong with this automotive industry, and then do something about it." he basically was like, "Oh, that's funny. Like me and a couple other friends have been looking at something similar," and so that kind of just kicked off a series of conversations that led to us to, starting Shift.
So, what is the most frustrating thing that you found as a shop owner that you said, you know what, this has to be fixed, and I'm going to build it myself?
That basically describes most features in Shift. That's how almost all of them start.
Oh,
Is it was
okay.
just like whatever was for the early side of things. It was like whatever the flavor of the week of the thing that was driving me crazy was what we would solve, and then we go validate it against what other owners were experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like as a general theme, I hate when technology is working against us. In the sense
What do
that
you mean?
like we have access to all of this technology and then we still do things super manually. And it's like
Is
this
that
is
a
not
technology problem or a people problem, though?
um it can be both. I think in the examples that I'm talking about, it's a technology problem. It's a
Okay.
like no one had provided them a way to do this with technology yet, so we did it manually. Now, once provided the tools, if you still decide to do it manually, that's a people problem, not
It's
a
on you.
technology
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, or a process problem potentially. But so yeah, I think generally like I hate manual workflows that could be automated. The way I describe it is like activities that are low value inputs that have high value outputs, or things that are tasks but not skills. People spending time doing that instead of people spending time on the impactful things like taking care of customers and ensuring cars are fixed at a high quality and in an efficient time frame. That's what inside of the shop you can spend time on that delivers results for you. Spending time scanning across two different data sets and looking for where things overlap, or spending time moving data from one electronic place to the other because nobody bothered to build a connection. Those are not good uses of people's time.
So I'm gonna switch it up on you a little bit. I don't want to get too technical because then
That's fine.
my eyes will start glassing over. Let's go back and talk about get personal. I'm nosy.
Okay.
So you're always on the move. When do you rest? Because the last time I saw you was in Mooresville at the go kart, and
Mm-hmm.
you were tired. You had literally just got off the plane to come receive this award from ASTA. When do you rest?
It's not a lot, but I'm conscious to take care of myself. I've been doing this from an early stage startup and business standpoint. This has been my entire career. I have been
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would self describe myself as a workaholic, but I would say anyone else in my life would probably describe me that way. Um, and it's largely because I do things that I love to do, but
Mm-hmm.
my body tells me kind of when it's like when it needs some time. I'm a night owl. I'm not an early morning person at all.
Yeah.
Um, and so, I get my 4 to 7 hours of sleep a night. Uh,
Worse than me. You
and
can't do that.
it's usually six. I think
Okay.
six is probably the average, 5 to 6. Um, I also like really prioritize like time for myself, or time with my family,
Mm-hmm.
or time with friends. Like those things energize me. And so as much as I will work, like I really try not to work on the weekends unless I have to. Like if there's a deadline or something I got to get done, I will. But like I have learned over the last 9 or 10 years that if I don't give myself that space, like the things that re-energize me, then I will get burnt out, and I'll get
Okay.
frustrated. Um, but I do love what I do, and so like yes, I work probably on average 60 to 70 hours a week, which is a lot.
But you got
But
two
I'm
businesses.
having fun the whole time. Like I
Okay,
really
that's
am.
important.
Like I'm
Okay.
having a blast, even on the weeks
All
that
right.
suck. Like even the weeks that suck, like solving those problems does genuinely energize me. Um, and then like I have my wife and friends and people who kind of like keep me going on the personal side of things. And I try not to like take work to those spaces, largely because all of those people have heard me talk about work for, well, 10 to 15 years, and
Right,
they
here he
don't
goes
care.
again.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
So it's honestly, it's a good line in the sand.
All right, good. Because I don't want you to be one of those shop owners or business owners that just your success burns you out and then you burnt out at 30. And the next time I see you, you're just like, oh my God, the industry sucks. Like, I think a lot of people that get so mad about the industry and talk about how bad it is, especially technicians, it's because they just get burnt out and maybe they don't have a way to downshift. You see what I did there?
There
I'm
you
going to do them
go.
all day. All day. I got them all day. I
Excellent.
don't. That's the
Can't
last
wait.
one. That took a lot to come up with. But so I just want to make sure you're not sacrificing your personal life because you're only 30. It's time to start kicking out some puppies.
Yes.
And those are going to take a whole lot of energy and time.
They are going to take a whole lot of energy and time.
Did I hit a nerve?
No, you didn't hit it. I mean, my wife might agree. My wife might agree with you.
Yeah.
On a lot of these points. Yes, that is the next phase of life. I think that I'm gonna have to wrap my head around. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
haven't quite
It's the
figured
gift
out.
and the curse.
Yeah, I haven't
It's the
quite figured out
best.
how to be excited about it. Like, I know I am. I just haven't figured
You
out
should
what
be
that actually
scared. Scared is
looks like.
good.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
terrified.
know.
Yeah.
Terrified, mortified.
Yeah, terrified is good.
Petrified.
That's a
All
good
that.
word.
Yeah,
But I have
so-
accepted that, like, I'll never feel ready. I think that was like I'm a very analytical person, so like I don't get paralysis by analysis. I think about it, I make a decision, I move forward. And with the concept of kids, I have not been able to do that, and I've had to
You're
just
not
make
going to be able to do
peace.
that. Let it go,
Yeah,
honey.
I've had to just make peace with the fact that I will never get to that point.
Yeah, that's not happening. They're just going to show up. You're going to be like, what in the hell did I just do? It's gonna, like I always tell people, Santana's 22. It's the gift and the curse.
Mhm.
I had so much money and so much fun and so much time. And then there was a baby and there was so much love and no time and no money and no sleep. But I would not trade it for the world. And you are not going to be able to put that and figure that out on your little computer.
No,
You're not going to be able to
no,
figure it
I'm
out.
not.
But it's just going to like, what? Never mind. Just never mind. Let it go. You're going to let that one go.
Yep.
So let's you spend a lot of time giving back through Shift and Honest and the community. Why Shift? Was it a just another adventure because you're that person, or did you really, truly, honestly, and I'm keep saying honest automotive, do it for the industry?
I think both can be true.
Okay.
I have now been a part of sort of countless number of startups where I was a integral part, but it wasn't mine. And after the most recent one, I had kind of made the decision that the next one needed to be mine. Like, whatever I was going to do, I was ready to be that person. And I had learned a tremendous amount from all of the different companies that I'd worked with. So that was true. And so I think to some degree, yes, it is not just another venture, but it was the venture. But then specifically with the automotive side of things, like I went as far as to, acquire an auto repair shop and make that my problem. I am as committed to the industry as I think you can realistically be at 29 years old, having not been in it my entire life. And I'm here for the long term. This isn't a flash in the pan thing. Like this industry deserves better than it's gotten. And I want to do everything that I can to give it that.
Because as a shop owner, there's new software and technology that comes out every 35 seconds. Mm-hmm. There's so many emails, so many ads, so many booths that'll pop up at that expo. And so I really think that you have something different. You've got boots on the ground. You know what you're talking about. You've been in it and you can kind of explain it better. Because you got to think about it. Most shop owners are not into software and all the computer geeky stuff and whatever. No disrespect. But you have the best of both worlds and you can guide them through your product in a way that other people probably cannot do because they don't have a shop. So you can say, oh no, I have a shop. I know this is a problem and this is the solution. So kudos to you for doing all of that. Like you've got a leg up and I think it's so cool. I really do. And then the fact that you've been so passionate and how you show up at industry events and you're in there, and you're in there. Because I remember, we were in Kansas. Where we're in Kansas, and I'm
Mhm.
sitting at a table full of what I would say influential people. And hey, bro, where are you at? I think, were you on the way to the airport?
Was on the way
Or
to the
I don't know
airport.
where you turned around, skirt. And that's what I'm all about. I'm really all about making connections with people. Like, okay, you need to sit at the table and meet this person. Because if I believe in you, if you can get them to believe in you, that's how I think your product is going to grow. And how
Yep.
much have you grown? Because since Shift started, how many clients do you have then versus now? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, so when I don't remember, did you meet me at at the expo?
I feel like I met you at Expo last year.
Okay. Yeah. So at the expo last year is when we launched
No, I
Shift.
met you at Mike's at
Oh,
one of
that's
his
right.
things.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't. Yeah,
where I
we
met.
didn't meet at the expo.
I
Okay,
did
so
meet
we
you at
missed
Expo
each
last
other.
year.
We missed each other at expo. Um, that is where Shift launched.
Okay,
So we launched our product the day
last
of
September.
the expo. Yeah, that right at the end of September. Um, and so from that point to here, um, we're in over 150 shops um, already, with quite a few that are just in the process of getting through onboarding. In addition to
Hmm.
that, um, and yeah, the impact has been phenomenal. To your point, I think I've always kept one of my like core, um, I think core just like mission action items as a person, like showing up. That's been a huge thing for me, and I've gotten,
Hmm.
I think I've gotten a lot of where I have gotten in my life by just showing up, and the connections that come from that, and the relationships that come from that, and the trust that comes from that. And so that's a very core part of who I am, and I try to bring it into who Shift is and who Honest Automotive is as well.
So showing up is going to be a big deal. I want to dive into that a little bit more, and I might be wrong because I'm old and decrepit, but I really believe that young people have a problem with that communication, relationships, and showing up. Like you said, you have a wonderful friend group. Most people friends are just online.
Yeah.
And most people are just kids, or and I'm gonna keep calling you a kid. You a kid. I could be your mom. They're online with their cell phones,
Yeah.
and people have a hard time making eye contact or having the conversations, because forever you guys have been gaming, and you've got social media, you've got all of these things that keep you from making connections with people. And in any industry that you're going to be in, any job that you're going to have, unless you're just in the office sitting doing, I don't know, some programming, you need to communicate with people. And I think you do a great job of that. I
Thank you.
really do. But what would you tell other youth? And I still think you're young, no matter how much you think you're
Uh,
not,
uh,
how to hone in on that? Because I don't think kids are aware that it's bad. Even when somebody's dropping off their car,
oh
they
yeah.
drop off the car, they come in the shop. I'm here to drop off my car, and I'm the person that'll say, hey,
Yeah.
talk to me.
It's
Like,
the Gen Z
let's
stare.
speak. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm the right. I don't know if I'm a good authority to answer this. Like I don't know what made me the way I am when it comes to this.
Mhm.
I suppose I can. I'll thank my mom and my dad for the most part for that one. That was always really important to them, was my ability to communicate and to uh, be able to interact with people. My mom tells stories all the time now. When I was like 3 and 4 years old, and we go to playgroup kind of thing with all the moms and all their kids. I would stand in the kitchen and talk to the adults while all of the other 4-year-olds hung out with each other. And this story has now been conveyed to me by my mother and by most of the other mothers that were in that room
Yeah.
at various points in my life. So I don't think she's making it up. Um, but it is how I've been my whole life. I've surrounded myself with
Mhm.
people that were much older than me, not intentionally. It just kind of where I gravitated towards, generally speaking. And I think that is probably the thing that caused what you're describing, which is that like I was always in an environment where the expectations of the environment were much further along than where I was as an age or as a person. And so like I just had to constantly bring myself up to a place where I could blend in to whatever that situation environment that I was in was. And I think that is probably what was most like fundamental around how I communicate the way I communicate. For kids today, I really don't I don't know how to explain the importance of it other than that it is the most important thing. Like the way you
Yeah.
communicate and the relationships you build are who you are to some degree. But I don't have I don't have an answer
You don't
there.
have one. Well, I believe that even for me to be in the space, you don't want to be in a room or be in a space that you are comfortable all the time, because that's going to stunt your growth. So one thing that I've always been told is like, you want to be in the room, and other people say that's being in a room with people that are smarter than you.
Yep.
So that's you being in there with the adults and like, what are they doing? I want to be doing what the grown people do.
Yep.
Be in a room that's people are smarter than you, whether you're a technician, shop owner, any industry. If you just be in there with somebody and latch on to a group of people that will encourage you or push you out of your comfort zone. Because as for me, I've said it before, I am not a natural speaker. I do not speak to people by nature. But my grandmother, exactly, I saw that face, believe it. If I can get my grandmother right here, she would tell you one thing they would say, what's the matter? Does a cat have your tongue? My grandma and grandpa said that all the time. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue? I wouldn't speak. But grandmother made me speak, and I could not stand it. Even when I started working at the shop, answering the phones when I was about 16, it's kind of like daddy pushed me to answer the phone. It's like, oh, I got to speak up and answer the phone. They're people. Even now, if you see me and I'm traveling or I'm in a situation and I have my headphones on, I'm going to try my best not to make eye contact with you. And I've got my headphones on and I am not ready to talk yet. So I have to turn it on. But if I never turned it on, if I never found that, okay, Tonnika, you're going to have to get out of your own way and stop playing this shy girl and use your words and speak up, then I would be left behind. I'd still have an ARO that was $200. I'd still be not learning. And that means coming to an expo, going to a training, going to AST, going to tools, going in anywhere. Like, do not be uncomfortable sitting at that table with the people that you see online. Like for me, people that I thought I would never talk to, like Cecil, I'm intimidated by that man. He is so sweet. But I just made that up in my mind. But I was just like, I like Cecil. He got a lot of stuff to say and he's very wise and he has a cool hat. So let me go talk to this man. Now he knows my name and it's just like, oh, it's Cecil. And just like Mr. Haas, I think he's amazing. And just to go out to dinner with these people. So I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I don't want the youth or younger people or any person not to speak up, step up, and stand out. Because if you do, you could lose a lot. Because there's so much to gain to just going and talking and networking. And so as for me right now, it's important that I introduce you to somebody that you may have not known. Because I feel like in the long run, I'll be blessed for it. And that's not the only reason I do it, but I know that I'll be blessed for it. It's like, even if you don't like him, it's like, oh, well, I met that guy. I didn't drive with him. So I'm not going to talk to him anymore. Miss Tonnika. Okay, that's fine. Or if I know someone that's looking for a product, even though I'm currently not using your product, but I believe in everything that you do because you are in there doing it and you are committed and I believe in you. So if someone's, I'm looking for this, or if they say, oh, this didn't work for me, I say, oh, don't give up the whole thing. Call Shift. Look these guys up. Look into this. And so I think that's important.
We'll get you there. Just
And
so
that's
you
a
know,
tangent.
we'll get you to using the product.
He's going to get me. He's going to get me changed over.
We'll get you there.
So what do you think the future of automotive is going to look like? You've been in here for a couple years, 17 years, automotive nut job. What is it going to look like 10 years from now? With all the technology and the AI and the...
Yeah, I don't think it's going to look as different, at least on the 10-year horizon. I think going beyond the 10-year horizon, things start to get a lot fuzzier. Because if you think about, I was talking to my business partner about this the other day. It's like, if you think about the average age of a car, it's just shy of 13 years, 12.7 or something like that. So kind of at a minimum, we have 12 years of everything we see on the road today and what those product mixes are and things like that. And so I think the next 10 years or so what we're going to see happen, I think you're going to see continue to see consolidation. I think that's going to happen. That's going to continue to happen a lot. We're inside of and coming up on additional like generational change of business ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that generational change of business ownership, there are basically three outcomes. There is a purchase by a third party, which is typically going to be a roll up of some sort, private equity purchase, or a group that is, a smaller group that's buying businesses. It's going to be a handover, so a new generation of that family taking over, or the cousin or the friend or the neighbor down the street or whoever kind of just taking over as an individual, or it's going to close. Like those are the three options. The ones that are, I think, worth keeping around are going to end up in one of the first two buckets. And I think the ones that are going to close will be the ones that, probably aren't providing the shining example of our industry that we would all like to provide. So you're going to have consolidation there. You're going to have a rapid increase in technology in the shop. I mean, if you look at the last like 6 years, 7 years, there's been a massive amount of technological change inside of the shop after basically a 15 to 20 year period of almost nothing changing. If you think about your legacy on-prem systems, if you think about the way that repair data was accessed, like a lot of that really didn't change in a meaningful way for quite some time. And then there was a pretty large sort of seismic shift in the industry in the like 2019, 2020 timeframe as things really started to transition to cloud in a like broad industry way. There were early adopters and things like that, but the real shift started to happen in that time frame, which is actually a crazy thing to say if you really think about it, is that 2019, 2020 is when the auto repair industry decided to embrace cloud-based software, which had been around for, I don't know, the better part of 17 years at that point. And that was how long it took for it to trickle down to the auto repair space. Which is, I think, emblematic of a larger theme, which is that auto repair has historically just been very behind from a technology standpoint, both in adoption and in like the actual solutions being available in the industry. So I think we've seen that start to change a lot. You've had a lot of companies who have sort of broken into the space and built really cool solutions and become strong players in the industry. I think you're going to continue to see that. I think is with AI is a very good example. The conversations I was having with owners about AI 18 months ago versus the conversations I'm having with them now are so different because the level of comfort and the level of understanding I think that people have gotten to with the concept, at least, is very different. I think the 18 months ago conversation is your average owner was like, I don't need AI. Let's say I was. Not in my shop. Why would I want that? Yeah. That is not the average conversation I'm having today.
Because now they weren't, how am I going to do this? Will I get left behind?
They're
the conversation.
They're realizing
you're going to get left behind.
This isn't like a crypto conversation. I think there was like a large phase in like the mid 2010s where it was like, if you're not in crypto, you're getting left behind. Like the dollar's going,
no cash,
the dollar's going away. There's going to be no cash. And I think that's a little bit of what like the AI conversation sounded like at the beginning. And it probably didn't help that there was like a fair bit of overlap between the mouths that it was coming out of from the crypto side of things and the AI side of things. And that's not the case. Like, you really are going to get left behind if you're not adopting AI in some way, and not because you can't do it manually, and not to say like no one's going to use your shop because you don't have AI, but like if you would like to build an efficient business that makes you money, that outpaces the number of hours that you put into it, you have to look for efficiencies. And if there's technology in the market that provides those efficiencies, which is basically the entire thesis of AI, and you're actively choosing not to use it, that's the definition of getting left behind.
Yeah, that's like refusing to buy a specific tool that is needed for the line of cars that you're working on just because I don't want to buy that tool. Yep. It is a tool.
It's a tool.
So how should shop owners let's think about the back of the shop.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get our technicians ready How do we keep them up to date? What would be your suggestion on that?
I think there's a couple ways that happens. I think training is going to be like the most fundamental one as vehicle systems change and things are requiring more of a technology understanding from a technician standpoint. They're not going to just like learn through experience, I think, on that the same way they have been able to previously. It's like,
You better not tell Jedediah that Jedediah's been doing this for 45 years. And I don't need no technology.
Well,
I know how to fix a car.
If Jedediah has been doing it for 45 years, and frankly, by the time it's going to be a problem, hopefully Jedediah is retiring. So you let him have whatever he wants, and he can ride it out. Because this is the other thing. It's like, if you are a shop that works on, let's say, my shop, frankly, is actually a pretty good example. The average age of a vehicle that my shop works on, which I don't have the actual number off the top of my head, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably roughly 2015 to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So the car is 9 years old. And the cars that are coming out in 2026 and for the last couple of years have a lot of modules in them with a lot of diagnostic happens inside of those modules. My team is not experts on module-based diagnostics like that. And I think to some degree there's like this conversation around, well, if you don't figure that out, like you're getting left behind tomorrow. And it's like, no, my team works on cars that are 11 years old on average.
Mm-hmm.
And we know when to say no to things because they're outside of our wheelhouse.
Right. You got to be smart about that.
If I have everybody on my team go to a class for a week tomorrow and learn all there is to know about how to diagnose a 2026 model year vehicle and all of the modules that are there, they are not going to use a single skill that they gathered in that for at least, on average, 11 years from now. Yeah. Because that's when that car is going to be in my shop. And so I think it's also being practical about like, okay, yes, there's what's happening in the greater automotive industry. And then it's like what's happening that is relevant to what is happening in my shop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an important distinction as you think about a constrained amount of time that you have to focus on things and where you focus your efforts and your trainings. Think about what is going on and what you're working on in your shop and maybe what you aspire to work on too, if that's not the same as what's happening today. Right. And focus your energy there. Like being on the cutting edge of vehicle diagnostics is not very practical if you work on cars that are 10 to 15 years old on average.
Yeah. But if you're in Cary and everything's a Tesla, you have a Tesla shop, you need to dive into that.
Absolutely.
But if like me, cars are 2020, we work on cars 20 years and newer.
Yeah.
And if the cars are 2026, most likely it's under warranty, it's going to the dealership. So you don't have to spend a week on those things, but eventually you're going to have to. And that's where we have to. And another thing, me and the youth, that's why we have to start getting the young people interested, allowing them to have a space to learn and grow in the shop. Because I believe, and I might be wrong, I'm not trying to call people with old brain stupid. They would catch that and catch on to that so much quicker than Jedediah. So while Jedediah is teaching them the basics of how to fix a car, they can also teach Jedediah, or they can also learn the modules and the program and all that stuff a whole lot quicker than I could ever grasp. So that's why we have to keep having the cars and coffees and let the kids come in the shop, despite their haircut, despite what they're driving. Like I think a lot of shop owners are very judgmental when these kids come and apply for a job. Like, I know my daddy can't stand my son's hair. Jordan's hair is just like a nest of afro stuff going on, but he's smart as crap. And he's like top of the class at the Mercedes drive program right now. He's getting ready to start working at Mercedes and Cary because that's what he wanted to do. So, but if a Jordan came in and he's got a sleeve on his leg and a sleeve on his arm tattoo, and he's got crazy hair and he's got this Jeep that's jacked up on these 35-inch wheels. I don't know what size they're. I'm just being extreme. Yeah. And you see this kid pulling up and you're like, oh my God, what in the heck? But he's a flipping car genius. And he's been like that since I can remember. Like for you said it wasn't cars for you. It was Legos and cars for him. Legos and cars. So if we, as shop owners, business owners, the hiring people, if we dismiss these kids because they don't look the part, you're in trouble. And then we can
I
get
think
them in
we
the
should.
shop and teach them how to look the part
I think we
a
should
little
also
bit.
be a little honest with ourselves about what "look the part" means. I'm not sure that the auto repair industry is known for being like the cleanest cut, most like put together group of individuals in the
No, it's a
greater
bunch of beards and
employment
bellies.
ecosystem. So, like the idea of being like, he doesn't look the
Well,
part. I'm like, I
I'm
don't know
thinking
what
like
the
look the
part
part, and then
looks
you got to
like.
think about kids in general.
Yeah,
Like you're 22 years old. This kid made a mistake. Yeah, you're 50 and you made a mistake. He's been here 22 years. You've been here 50 years. Like,
yeah,
stop. Give some
yeah.
grace
And
and
he's been
take
in
the
the building
time.
22 minutes.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
anyway,
If we want to fix the problem, because like we could parlay this into the talent shortage or perceived talent shortage.
perceive. Let's say the perceive, because I don't think there's a shortage. I think this people just have unrealistic expectations of people, and their hiring practices are stupid, and they don't know how to hire, and they don't know how to communicate because they haven't learned leadership. Which we think about running the business, and we think running the business is money in, money out. I got some money left over. Everybody gets a check. Do your job. Go to F home. You can't do that anymore in 2026.
That's
Not
because
with
that is what it
not with
has
this current
been.
generation. And
That
that's
is
what
what
it
it
has
has
been.
been,
And then
and
you look
that
at a
is the problem.
resume and you're like, oh, they don't fit. Like, you don't fit your own shop. Shut up. So, oh, they don't fit. You don't fit.
Man, I don't even have to say anything. You covered all the things I was going to say. That's
Did I?
perfect.
Go ahead.
Better
Go
you.
ahead. Help
No,
me out,
in the
Tristin.
best way. Better you say it than me. That way we can back over you at the bus, and I don't
I
have
said, yeah,
to be
back
laying
over
down.
me with the bus, honey. I got airbags. That is going to be taken the wrong way.
That is absolutely going to be taken the wrong way.
That's going to be taken the wrong way, but it's okay. They forgive me. I was looking at someone's asking for a hiring shop, a friend, and one of the comments under his post that he put on Facebook is, "Hey, I'm a hell of a technician. I'm just not verbatim, and I've applied several times, and you haven't given me the time of day." So, are we overlooking wonderful technicians because they don't look the way that we think they should look? Or their resume isn't perfect because they couldn't? Or, um, you think about all the things that people think that they're looking for in a technician. And if it's not the cookie cutter example of who you want, and you never give them a chance, how many good techs you're looking over?
Absolutely. This is something I've become like kind of fascinated by. I've hired a decent number of people in my life and managed a decent number of people in my life, and had to fire a handful of folks as well. And I take the approach to hiring inside of my shop as the same way I take the approach to hiring inside of inside the software company. I hire people. I don't hire jobs.
Mm.
You can make room for the right person. So you come up with a job description. I've got two out right now. I'm hiring a lube tech, and I'm hiring a like A/master tech. Really, I'm not. I'm hiring one of those two, which sounds crazy. I currently have job posts out for a master tech or a lube tech. I'm going to hire one of them. I don't know which one yet,
Mm.
because I hire people. I want the right person in my shop, and the right lube tech will make more of a difference in my shop than the wrong master tech. The right master tech will make more of a difference in my shop than the wrong lube tech. So I want to get a broad of a swath of people, and that kind of handles it, because generally speaking, I think people are going to try to apply up for a job, not down for a job. And then that entry level job is going to collect people who aren't sure what they're doing yet, or aren't happy, or they're at a job where somebody's not taking care of them. And I think that's that's one of the more fundamental problems, is like, we have made automotive pretty unattractive to work in, frankly. The benefits suck, the pay sucks, the hours sometimes suck. That's getting less common. You have to work for, on average, some grumpy old person who is not super interested in adapting the way they do things to the way the next generation of people wants to be communicated with, managed, handled. That's not a super compelling offer.
Right.
And it's been one of my advantages, honestly, in hiring inside of this space is that when I get on an interview, I do all of like the first round phone interviews with folks. And I start out by saying, I'm like, we are not going to be like what most shops you've worked at is like. I'm 29 years old. This is how I run the shop. This is how I manage things. This is what my business partner does. Like, it's going to be a different experience. If you're up for that, awesome. Would love to bring you on to the next step, but that's also not for some people. Some people want that more conventional space. But I got really off track there. I think we really need to actively look at ourselves in the mirror a bit and say, am I providing an environment that is a compelling space to work in?
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I think, more of the root problem with the employment side of automotive right now. Shops that are great shops are not having a hard time hiring. Shops that are good shops are not having a hard time hiring. I'll add the asterisk. If your shop is in a town of 3,000 people, these comments probably don't apply because there's just a volume challenge there. Yes, that is very real. No one's going to be able to solve that problem for you.
And we can't talk on that because that's not our situation.
But I think sometimes that gets thrown in, and then they're like, well, this isn't a universal truth. It's like, there's only, I can't find any people. It's like, well, all right, you're in a town of 3,000 people. So yes,
makes sense.
You're right. I don't know how to help you. Let's assume we're in a relatively populated area. Great shops are not having a hard time hiring people. They might be having a hard time hiring the right people, which comes down to, what their approach is, like you said, of the type of people that they're inviting in the door. But
the applications are out there.
Oh yeah. I have unpaid job posts up on Indeed right now that have dozens of applications in the last, 7 days. Yeah. And like, I am not, like, our shop is not special in that way. Like, it's not like I'm paying twice the market average or offering crazy benefits. It's like the talent's there. And a lot of them aren't happy where they are. So that's the other thing is like, there's the recruiting side of things too, which I haven't dove into myself. I know Mike has done some of that and has had some success with it. But I think also the industry is realizing what that actually means. Like, what recruiting means is that somebody is going to call the people who work in your shop and try to take them. And I think I saw a thread on Facebook, this was a couple weeks ago, where something like that happened. They're like, I don't know how I feel about these recruiting companies. They're calling my techs and trying to take them to other shops. And it was like, if those techs are picking up that call and entertaining that option,
internal problem.
That's a you problem.
Oh, yes. You can't tell people that. It hurts their feelings.
It should. That's the point.
Most of the shop problems are a you problem.
Yeah.
And I say that with so much love and grace because I am most of the problem in my shop. But until you understand that, you're not going to be able to listen to the feedback from your employees or your clients even. It's like people that go and get a bad review on Google and argue with the person instead of looking into what happened and saying, oh, shit. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
It was me. It was us. Our process was bad. So, yeah, it's like, okay, well, my guys keep quitting or I keep getting bad guys. Well, you hired them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I keep getting these bad people. You did the interview. Your interview process is jacked up. Or everybody keeps leaving. They wouldn't leave if it was worth. Nobody leaves for another $2 down the road.
The right people don't.
The right people don't leave. Some people will.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly. That might have been the nail on the coffin, but that is not the only reason that they left. So yeah, when people, shop owners, any business owner, not just shop, because I do have some people that listen that are not shop owners, which is pretty cool.
It is cool. I do think shop owners are unique. I do. Yes. Assume you're the problem, I think, is a great way to
I assume that I'm a problem. And when
quickly.
I had some one-on-ones this week and two of them were kind of tough. One was with my own son and I said something. He said, Mom, I don't think you're right. He was like, yeah, he did say Mom, because he still calls me Mom at work. And he's like, and he spoke his truth. And I said, oh, well, you might have something there. And I was able to accept that criticism as the owner and the mama. And he
Did
was
that
absolutely right.
did that interaction ever happen when your dad owned the shop and it was you in that
No,
in that seat?
my damn shop, you can get the hell out.
Yeah.
No. And that's the difference
Yeah.
between he and I. But I understand that was that generation. And he does give me my flowers on how I do things now. But
sure.
not to get everything twisted. Brown's Automotive is not all flowers, rainbows, and candy. We got to go to work. There are minimum things that I accept. You're not going to come in there and not work. So I don't placate to everything that everybody does.
No.
So the basic, how I run my business is how my father ran his business. I'm a little kinder and gentler, but I'm going to give to you, and I expect you to give to me in return.
Yep.
If you're going to be on my clock for 40 hours, I better have 40 hours of work or better.
Yep.
I push them. I push them, but I encourage them. Mistakes happen. Make a mistake, you don't get fired. Make the same mistake twice, I'm looking at you with a side eye. Third, okay, you got to go. So people are so quick to fire people. Hire fast, hire slow, fire fast, within reason. Work on your business, not in your business, within reason. Within reason. So my father, we don't have Brown's Automotive, has not been in Chapel Hill for 46 years for no reason.
For sure.
He doesn't have people that he's hired and fired over the last 40 something years that show up for him for no reason.
Yep.
There's good to the old school way of doing things. But that recipe is what's up. I tell people I'm the macaroni-and-cheese queen. I'll get you some one day. My auntie taught me how to make macaroni and cheese. I learned from Aunt Lynn. Give her your kudos. I can throw her under the bus with my macaroni and cheese now. It's the same base, but there's different seasonings, different cheeses, and there's a different way that I do it. But she taught me, she gave me the blueprint of the macaroni and cheese, but I took it to my own architect. So with my father, the blueprint of the business, treat people fair, pay people good, and do a good job. Whether you make a profit or not, do a good job. So that's the blueprint of Brown's Automotive. Now, I took the blueprint because it was a little faded and there's some rooms that I didn't like in that. And I took it to a different architect and I made some changes. But shop owners need to understand, okay, I know I've been doing this way for 10 years. Boo, maybe you should try to change that just a little bit. Oh, it's my shop. Nobody said it wasn't your shop. Nobody didn't say that. They didn't say it wasn't your shop. But maybe you should look at it a little bit differently. Let's turn the mirror around on ourselves and make sure that we are shop owners, that our technicians and our front office staff can come to and say, hey, I know you fussed at me about this, but I don't see it that way. This is what I see. I had a young lady do that with me and I was like, oh, that stung. I'll get over it. But you know what I'm going to do from it is grow. You know what she's going to do is trust that she can come to me.
Yep.
So if more shop owners took that approach with employees and hiring and training and all that stuff, it's like, let me work on myself first. And I think that's where you have the advantage, being a young shop owner.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think I grew up in an environment where the idea of catering, and this is probably not going to land well with every crowd, but the idea of like catering things to the individual became more common, like whether it was learning styles or the way we communicated with people. I think some people probably see it as coddling. But the reality is when we realize that everybody has the potential to be, or when we accept that everybody has the potential to be great, but they're not going to get there through the same path, then I think you can see opportunity where it may not be obvious to others in the types of people that you can hire and the ways in which you do things. People are individuals. We all know that. But when we think about what that really means, when we have a team of 7, 10, 15, 20 people who all want something slightly different and we just pick a single spot on the map and we're like, well, this is what we do. And they're like, oh, well, all right, maybe that's good enough, I guess, until somebody offers me something better, versus having conversations with and understanding each of our teammates. How do they want criticism to be communicated? How do they want to be compensated? This whole universal pay plan thing, I do not understand at all. There's not a single person, nobody in my shop is on the same style of pay plan. Not a single one of my employees is on the same style of pay plan. That conversation happens with them when they sit down in the office to get hired. Here are your options. Here's the scale. You can be salary/hourly. You can be completely flat rate. We can pick something in between. One of these is going to be the most consistent. It's also going to be the least money you make. This one's going to be the most opportunity to make money. It's going to be the biggest roller coaster.
It depends on if you got a family or if you're at home with your mama.
Yeah. What is going to get you up and out of bed in the morning and make you feel appreciated? That's not the same for anybody at my shop. Why would I pay them all the same way? Why would I treat them all the same way if they have different wants and needs? That is pretty uncommon, I would say, in the industry.
Yeah, that's going to make somebody mad, but I completely understand what you're saying. When you say everything, money's not everything to everybody. Sometimes it's time. I need to get off at 4:30 to go get my kids. I want to pick them up from school. Yeah. I want to see my kids before they get into bed. You're like, okay, if you can get here by 7, let's do it. Yeah, you compromise.
Had that conversation with my most recent hire. We are open. We run kind of extended hours, so we're open 8 to 6:30, Monday to Friday. And when we were going through the hiring process, he was like, "Hey man, like I live 45, 50 minutes away. I really try. I want to be able to spend some more time with my kids. Like, is there a way that you'd be okay with me coming in a little early, but I can leave by 5:30 every day?" I said, "Absolutely. Like, if that's what's important to you, then I'll be here at 7:30. Be here at 7. Take off an hour early. Get your work done. Like, ultimately,
get your work done.
Ultimately, that's all that matters is get your work done. Don't take a lunch. Get your work done. I don't care how we get there. It doesn't matter. And that's why the pay thing, and that's where I think people are saying, like, well, the only way to get results is flat rate. And I think from an objective standpoint, like, you're probably right. The only way to truly align incentives, I think it's not the only way to get results. The only way to truly align incentives between a shop owner and a technician is pure flat rate. I think that's pretty accurate at a just fundamental monetary level. But if that's not the thing that's important to my technician, then it's not going to be the thing that motivates him to do what I'm looking for him to do. If you pay somebody hourly, you pay somebody salary, and you set an expectation and they don't mean it, then they don't work there anymore. That's the motivation. Would you like to keep your job? Yes. I'm going to be willing to meet you where you need to be. The money you need to make, the hours you want to have, whatever those variables are going to then leave a Y value of this is how much work, this is how much efficient work we expect on an average basis over the course of a week. And if in an ongoing basis, you're missing that mark and we, take the corrective steps and things like that, and that doesn't work, then that's on you as an owner to find somebody who's going to do it and get rid of that person that is not meeting the needs of the shop. But that doesn't mean that style of pay or that style of taking care of an employee doesn't work. It absolutely works if the things that are important to them are different than the things that are important to your teammates who that pay plan does incentivize and get them out of bed in the morning.
And that is something that people need to hold on to. Like, all our guys are hourly plus bonus. But if someone said, hey, I'm hiring somebody and this is how I want to get paid, or like I said, I know that you're open till 5:30, but I live 45 minutes away and I need to do this. Makes sense. It makes sense. But can you imagine how many people are in the shop, a shop owners is like, nope. Nope. And they miss out on a great opportunity for a tech, because that guy might not even take only but 15, 20 minutes for lunch, eat a sandwich, get back on it, because you've given him the time with that kid.
Exactly.
They don't look at that. Shop owners don't look at that. Like we want to be in charge so bad. Like I'm the boss. I'm the boss. What I say go. Like
It's because that's all they know. Because what
that's all
happened,
they know.
the reason they're a shop owner is they also just had some series of shitty bosses in an auto repair shop
And they open their own.
who treated them like this, and then they got frustrated and they opened their own shop. The problem was that's all they knew.
That's
All they
do.
knew
Yeah.
were the things that drove them out of the shop.
So for me, I think the difference between me and Dad's style is because I worked with him. And I tell people, I never worked for my father. I worked for William Brown, and I was fired plenty of times. And there's plenty of things that he said, and I was just like, what? But I didn't say anything. But I knew what that felt like as an employee. And I didn't want anybody to feel like that. But I also knew the strength behind what he was saying. Maybe it was a different way that could have been said, but he wasn't willing to learn it. And he was like, I ain't learning that. But I'm smart enough to know that, Tonnika, you need to learn that. I need to focus on leadership. I need to focus on communication. Like I thought when people was talking about having one-on-ones, this is stupid. This is stupid. Now I do them on a regular basis. It felt awkward in the beginning, but my technicians let me know, hey, I like to know where I'm at. I like to know where I'm doing. So instead of just talking to a tech when they are screwing up, talk to them when they're doing a good job. Just it ain't nothing but a thumbs up or something corny. Like just give them the recognition when they're doing good. Same thing with raising a kid. You don't know about that yet. You know, a lot of parents will tell you what you did wrong. And then if you're doing great as a child, some people will say that's what you're supposed to do. Like, okay, but damn, can I get a high five or something?
You can still be recognized for you can get recognized for doing the things you're supposed to do.
Right.
That's called positive reinforcement.
So shop owners, exactly. So I don't think people understand that is important. Like, oh yeah, I gave my technician recognition for doing a good job. Well, that's what he's supposed to do. Bro, are you really that evil? Like, do you hear yourself? How did that feel when your dad did that to you? Remember Cats in the Cradle? You don't even talk to him no more. Like, come on. Same thing. We're humans. It's a people business. And we forget that part. And so you're not cogs on a wheel.
That is the most important thing you have said is we are in the people business.
My coach said that a couple weeks ago, and I was like, that is exactly it. It's a people business. We just happen to fix cars for a living, but it's a people business. We're providing for the community, one, but most of all, my number one is my technicians and my staff.
Yep.
A customer is not always right at Brown's Automotive. So if you're letting your customers come in there and dictate stuff and tick off your staff and talk about your staff and demand, you're not serving the community. You're just making a jerk. You're letting that fool know that he can do this any and everywhere, but you cannot do that at 11744 US Highway 15501. I will turn your butt around. You don't want my money? I do not, because you will not talk to my people that way.
I will always stand behind my people. I will always take care of my customers, but
I'm gonna take care of my customers, but I will.
You can take care of your customers and take care of your team.
I remember one guy, he was trying to accuse a technician. We did like front end work or something. I don't remember. No, we did a filler neck. And his splash shield or something came off, fender liner. He was like, oh, shame on him. And I said, oh, no, he did not do that, sir. I know you just want to blame it on somebody. Let's figure out what's wrong with your car, but you will not blame I will protect my people.
Yeah.
I don't play about that. I really don't. And if shop owners just took care of your staff, understood how that individual needs to be compensated, loved, appreciated, they're all not going to be the same. That's the importance of a DIS assessment. It's not no psychological mumbo jumbo. Me, my love language, if you tell me thank you, I'm the happiest person in the world. Mm-hmm. You don't do nothing but say thank you to me. That makes me happy. Okay? That other person, they might need to, I don't know. Some people don't like to be touched. Some people like to be touched. If that technician thinks that if you're too close to him, arm's length, you need that, that's not a bad thing. Talk to him that way. Find out who that is and how you need to communicate with that person. Communicate, compensate, and appreciate.
Yep. Absolutely.
And they all know what the end goal is. Get the end goal, no matter how crazy it looks. Like if you cannot micromanage people the way I used to try to do that, and I probably still do, but I recognize it again as a shop owner. I'm the problem.
It
I want
hasn't
it
changed.
done.
I just
This is
define it now.
I just have to say, look, this is what I need to happen. We need $45,000 a week. Okay. And if I sit there and tell you every single step to do that, I've given you the blueprint. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to make the Kool-Aid like we were talking about Kool-Aid. And it's red, not great, from Michael Gunther. I have to stop telling people exactly how to do it. Let them do their jobs. I've hired somebody. I trust this person. They know our processes. They know what not to do. There's some things that you just cannot do.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Do you guys do scripts at your shop?
No.
When you answer the phone, is everything scripted to the T?
No.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to answer the phone, but I need you to make sure to say welcome, give them your name, and ask them how to help.
There are requirements of how the phone is answered.
So there's a requirement for your work order, required DVIs, required amount of pictures, but every single detail, some people try to micromanage all of that. Believe it, they exist. I watch them. I listen to them. I've been in class with them.
I talk to shop owners all day, every day.
They scare me.
They don't scare me. I find it.
Well, they scare me because I feel bad for them. Like, you are serious too.
And I've gotten to the point where, and this is one of the cool things I think about, just kind of bringing it a little bit full circle of like being on both the software side and on the shop side of things, is I think conventionally, like I would be very hesitant to like correct or constructively criticize somebody in the business. Like if I think back to ShopGenie days where like also talked to tons of owners, I was not going to sit there and tell somebody how they should run their shop. And I still will never phrase it as that.
Yeah.
But I sit on calls all the time now where I'm like, hey, why do you do it that way? And they're like,
my granddad did it that way.
Yeah. They're like, this is just how we do it. And it's like, I would maybe consider looking at that a different way. Here's why. I think Carfax has probably been my like hottest debate recently with that. Of talking to a handful of owners who were like, I don't want Carfax to have any of my data. My customers don't want Carfax to have any of my data. Yeah, they do.
Because when I get ready to sell my car, I can prove that it's been worked on.
They 100% want Carfax to have their data.
Like nobody's coming to get you. I don't want the government in my business. You are not that important. You don't have that much money, but they're not thinking about you.
And even if you did, they already have it all anyway.
They already have it all.
Just come to terms with the fact that if you have been on the internet and doing stuff for the last 20 years, they got it all.
They got you.
Just move on. Like, just make peace with it.
Come on,
carry on to the next problem.
That soapbox, baby.
Yeah, right. It's like the whole data thing. It's like, why would you? This comes, but like you said, it's that same concept of like, oh, I know there's a tool that'll do it. I just don't want it. You're like, it's free. No one's even asking you for money for
my stuff.
Yeah, you're like, all right.
You don't want them to have the information on your 2017 Buick.
But a lot of times it's a misunderstanding too of like what's actually happening. I think that's probably just a universal truth and to some degree in our industry. It's just like the assumptions and of things versus what the reality is. But they were like, oh, well, they get my customer's address to my customer's phone number, my customer's email address. And I was like, no, they don't.
They got it anywhere. I mean, even if they did, it's not like it's hard to get it.
But they don't. They don't get it unless you actively give it to them. Like there are different levels in Carfax specifically. You can get one where you do share things and they do CRM activities and things like that for you. The base thing that all of the shop management systems connect to by default, or not by default, but if you activate the Carfax integration, all they get is information about the vehicle. It's the information to put the services that were done to the vehicle in the Carfax so that when the next shop or the next owner or whoever goes and is like, I wonder if they did spark plugs at 80,000 miles like they were supposed to.
They did. That's information.
Look at that. I don't have to go waste money on doing work that was already done. Or I find out they didn't, or they missed it, or they just didn't take it. Now they could also take it to somebody that doesn't report. And
who doesn't?
You're never going to have 100% coverage.
Right.
But some data is better than none. A lot better.
I remember my, was it 2000? I don't know when OnStar came out, but I took my Cadillac to my grandfather. So here's the thing. I think I've said this before. And if I repeat myself on this podcast, I don't care. If you're black and you get a Cadillac, you've arrived. That's the old people myth. We got a Cadillac. So I had a Cadillac Escalade and I took it over to my grandfather's house and said, hey, Granddad, come look at my car. He's like, oh, you got a Cadillac. And OnStar, I asked them to give him a sample of what they did. And so I say, hey, I've got my grandfather in the car and I want you to just walk him through what OnStar is. And so they's like, hey, and they told him the exact address where we were. And he was mad.
Yeah, I don't think he liked that.
They're like, yeah, you're at 1414 Rolling Drive. He's like, oh, no. And I remember, dude, it was a 2002. So this is 2002. And Granddad's like, oh, that's how they get you. I'm like, they who? Who's coming to get you, Granddaddy? He was mad. He's like, I wouldn't put that in my truck. I wouldn't put that in my truck. I wouldn't have all that information out there. So those same people are still running shops.
Oh, yeah.
Just to think about it, how upset he got about OnStar.
Yeah. And again,
and technology.
Just, a lot of it's just a misunderstanding. Like it's just
misunderstanding, not knowing what's out there and what is needed.
Absolutely.
So look, we've been talking for a while. This is good. So I'm just gonna we're gonna downshift just a little bit. Okay. If Honest Automotive and Shift Automotive, you sold it tomorrow, or it disappeared, what would you want people to say that you contributed to the automotive space?
Ooh.
You're moving on to your next venture.
That's a good one. Left it a little better than I found it.
He left it a little bit better than he found it. And if everybody could do that, we will be all right with anything in the world. Yeah. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you for your wonderful software, or if they need their car fixed, how do they find you?
If you need your car fixed, you can find me at honestautonc.com. If any of my ads are working, search auto repair and carry, maybe that'll work. But honestautonc.com. Honest Automotive is the name of the shop. I am here most days. Please don't ask for me. My team will probably tell you that I'm not here. But if you do really need me, go knock on the door behind the green wall.
I'm on the way.
At Shift. So we are shift-automotive.com. We are a workflow automation platform for your shop. We help your team. We help your service advising team sell the right work at the right time in the right manner. Make sure they're quoting work correctly. We help your technicians access all of the data they need from the OEMs faster. We help owners and operators kind of keep all their data together, run payroll, have better accounting records, have better HR records. And we are here to help. So give us a shout, book a demo at shift-automotive.com.
Yay. All right. Are you going to Mike's?
Having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited that we finally got together.
I know. Sorry for having to bail last time.
It's crazy. You bailed and I was on the way to Mexico. So we both, I was like, oh, I've got a trip that weekend anyway. So you were at a wedding, right? So that's all good.
Yeah, I was.
Heading out to Mike's?
At the Mike's.
The AI class he's doing? No. You know everything about AI.
I asked him kind of as a joke. I was like, "Hey, I was like, can I come to the happy hour after the AI thing?" It's like, I don't think I need to come. Listen, at some point we'll have to have a different conversation.
You and your wife. I got a +1 and a +2.
Yeah.
Now,
at some point we'll have a different conversation. I'll give you my hot takes on all of everyone building all of their own tools and with AI in the space.
I'm going to stop this recording right now. Oh, hey. Did you like that episode? You ready for the next one? Click here. And if you want to be a part of my cool auntie tribe, the Downshift crew, make sure you subscribe right there. Remember, the Downshift is a podcast where we talk about slowing down to speed up. Please like and follow, and we'll see you next time.